أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام را تلك آيات الكتاب وقرآن مبين ربما يود الذين كفروا لو كانوا مسلمين ذرهم يأكلوا ويتمتعوا ويلههم الأمل فسوف يعلمون وما أهلكنا من قرية إلا ولها كتاب معلوم ما تسبق من أمة أجلها وما يستأخرون وقالوا يا أيها الذي نزل عليه الذكر إنك لمجنون لو ما تأتينا بالملائكة إن كنت من الصادقين ما ننزل الملائكة إلا بالحق وما كانوا إذا منظرين إنا نحن نزلنا الذكر وإنا له لحافظون رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي نستغفر الله ربنا من كل ذنب ونتوب إليك ربنا زدنا علما اللهم يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما آمين يا رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Okay, we began Surah Hijr. This surah was revealed after Surah Yusuf. And this is a Makki surah, so the address is to the mushrikeen of Makkah, and it focuses on the fundamentals of faith, belief in one God, belief in the Day of Judgment. And this surah is named Hijr because this surah talks quite a bit about the nation of Thamud, the nation of Salih alayhi salam, and the place where they lived is called Hijr. The place where Thamud lived is called Hijr. That's what it's called, Hijr. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام را ألف لام را حروف المقطعات we don't know their meaning تلك آيات الكتاب وقرآن مبين these are the signs of the book قرآن مبين of the book Quran and of clear Quran of a open clear Quran ربما يود الذين كفروا لو كانوا مسلمين those who disbelieve will wish that they were Muslims. On the Day of Judgment, when they see the Muslims entering Jannah, they will wish that they were Muslims and they followed. Rubama. Today they are arrogant, today they are arguing against the Prophet ﷺ and against Islam, but on the Day of Judgment, they will wish they were Muslims. ذرهم يأكلوا ويتمتعوا leave them, let them eat and enjoy ويلههم الأمل and let them be distracted with their long hopes for this dunya. يلههم الأمل فسوف يعلمون soon they will know. وما أهلكنا من قرية إلا ولها كتاب معلوم and we did not destroy any nation or any town except that it had an appointed time. That every nation has an appointed time. So keep waiting and watching. وَمَا تَسْبِقُ مِنْ أُمَّةٍ أَجَلَهَا وَمَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ. So no nation can precede its term or exceed its term. That when the time comes for punishment, no one can make it earlier or delay it. Exactly will come and it has to come. وَقَالُوا يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِي نُزِّلَ عَلَيْهِ الذِّكْرُ إِنَّكَ لَمَجْنُونَ. So they say, O you on whom the Quran, the dhikr has been revealed, on whom the Quran has been revealed, إِنَّكَ لَمَجْنُونَ. They say that you are crazy. This is obviously the Makkans saying to the Prophet ﷺ that you are majnoon, mad. لَوْ مَا تَأْتِينَا بِالْمَلَائِكَةِ إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. They say, why doesn't an angel come on us إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ if you are truthful. مَا نُنَزِّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةَ بِالْحَقِّ. And Allah's response to that claim, saying that angels do not come except with purpose, except with truth. They come when the punishment has to come. وَمَا كَانُوا إِذًا مُنظَرِينَ. And when they come, they will not give you any time to repent. إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرِ. Indeed, it is we in fact are the ones who send down the dhikr, who send down the Quran. وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. And verily we are guardians over it, we are protecting it. So here Allah is saying to the Prophet ﷺ and to the Quraysh that it is not the Prophet who wrote this book, this is from Allah. It is we who sent down this book and we are protecting this book. How is Allah protecting the Quran? Through people's hearts. That's why we have thousands and millions of people, Hufaz, there's so many Hufaz memorizing the Quran, right? And that's where the Quran is preserved, that Allah takes it on Himself. No one can change anything. Like the previous scriptures were changed, this Quran cannot be changed, because anytime the Imam makes a slight harakah mistake, you have hundreds of people in the back saying, correcting it, and they recognize this as a mistake, right? So everybody knows, and no one can play around with this. And that's how the Quran is preserved. Its text is preserved, its understanding is preserved, the tafsir is preserved, and the also in the form of hadith, Allah is preserving the Quran. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا مِنْ قَبْلِكَ فِي شِيَعِ الْأَوَّلِينَ. And indeed we sent down before you many communities. Meaning, before the Prophet ﷺ came, the scriptures were sent down to many nations before you. وَمَا يَأْتِيهِمْ مِنْ رَسُولٍ إِلَّا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ. And no messenger came to them except that they used to mock and ridicule them. Ayah number 12, Surah Hijr. كَذَلِكَ نَسْلُكُهُ فِي قُلُوبِ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. That is how we make disbelief enter into the hearts of the criminals. لا يؤمنون به. They will not have iman. وَقَدْ خَلَتْ سُنَّةُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. Verily, the ways of the past, the people, what happened to the nations before will happen to them. قَدْ خَلَتْ سُنَّةُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. They're exactly doing what the people in the past did. وَلَوْ فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ بَابًا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فَظَلُّوا فِيهِ يَعْرُجُونَ. That if we were to open up the sky, the gates of heaven for them, and if they were to ascend themselves and see the heavens, لَقَالُوا. They would have said, إِنَّمَا سُكِّرَتْ أَبْصَارُنَا. Verily, our eyes are intoxicated. Our eyes are, there's some magic done on our eyes. Even if they see the heavens and the earth, they will say, بَلْ نَحْنُ قَوْمٌ مَسْحُورُونَ. We are a nation that is bewitched, that is then magic upon. So this is what Allah is saying. They want to go up. They say, open up the sky. They say that bring an angel. All these claims are refuted, saying that no matter what happens to them, they will not accept. وَلَقَدْ جَعَلْنَا فِي السَّمَاءِ بُرُوجًا. Rather, Allah says, when you go up and you look to the sky, you see ayat of Allah. We made the sky as buruj, as towers, and something that guards. وَزَيَّنَّاهَا لِلنَّاظِرِينَ. And we beautified the sky for those who look. وَحَفِظْنَاهَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ رَجِيمٍ. And we have secured the sky from every cursed shaitan. The security system has been installed in the heavens. This is strong security system. Why? إِلَّا مَنِ اسْتَرَقَ السَّمْعِ. Is security against shaitan. Right? That shaitan, before the Quran came down, the shayateen would go up and they would eavesdrop on the angels, steal the information, and come and tell the people of what's going to happen in the future. Right? And that's how the people worship the shayateen and these people, this awliya. They would say that we are awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they're actually worshipping jinns, and they would say the future. How? They will communicate with the jinns, and these jinns, these shayateen will go up and steal the information from the angels. Like the angels having a discussion, on Saturday, there should be rain on this area, and then on that day, this person is going to be born, and this person will die, and this will happen. And these people steal the information, they tell the people, and then they communicate to the others, and that's how people start worshipping. So Allah says, حَفِظْنَاهَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ رَجِيمٍ. We have guarded the heavens from the cursed shaitan. إِلَّا مَنِ اسْتَرَقَ السَّمْعَ. Except for the one who steals something. If someone does escape and goes and steals some information from there, فَأَتْبَعُهُ شِهَابٌ مُبِينٌ. Then a luminous star, right? A clear star follows it, atba'uhu, and burns it down. Like a shooting star follows this shaitan and burns it down. So before the shaitan comes down and relays that information to somebody else, it's already burnt down. That these are snipers from the angels shooting them down. وَالْأَرْضَ مَدَدْنَاهَا. When you see shooting star, that should remind you of these angels throwing these stars, these missiles at the shayateen. وَالْأَرْضَ مَدَدْنَاهَا. And we made the earth spread out. وَأَلْقَيْنَا فِيهَا رَوَاسِي. And we have placed mountains in it. وَأَنْبَتْنَا فِيهَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ مَوْزُونٍ. And we have made the earth to grow all kinds of things, mawzoon, and everything is well balanced. وَجَعَلْنَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَعَايِشْ. And we made for you a means of living, a means of livelihood. وَمَنْ لَسْتُمْ لَهُ بِرَازِقِينَ. And also we have provided for those whom you don't provide. We also provide you and also those animals and all these things in the world that we provide. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِنْدَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ, that the treasures of all things are with us. We are in fact the ones who provide everybody. وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدْرٍ مَعْلُومٍ, and we don't send down, we don't provide those provisions to anybody except that we have it measured. Everything is calculated. Allah knows exactly who will get what and when. وَأَرْسَلْنَا الرِّيَاحَ, and He is the one who sends the wind. لَوَاقِحَ, this wind, what do? They pollinate, they impregnate the other flowers and plants. لَوَاقِحَ, wind is used for pollination, right? You see that today. وَأَرْسَلْنَا الرِّيَاحَ لَوَاقِحَ فَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, then He sends down water from the sky. فَأَسْقَيْنَاكُمُوهُ, and we give it and we give it to you for drink, so you drink from it. وَمَا أَنْتُمْ لَهُ بِخَازِنِينَ, and you're not the one who stores this water and safeguards it. It's us who take care of preserving the water and sending it down when it's need to. وَإِنَّا لَنَحْنُ نُحْيِي وَنُمِيتُ, and it is indeed we are in fact the one who give life, and وَنُمِيتُ, and we give death, وَنَحْنُ الْوَارِثُونَ, and we are going to be the ultimate inheritors. That when the earth, and so now Allah is saying He has control over all the things in this dunya, and after when this dunya comes to an end and everything is destroyed, Allah will say, لِمَنِ الْمُلْكُ الْيَوْمِ, to whom belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth? And the answer will be لِلَّهِ الْوَاحِدِ الْقَهَّارِ. Allah will answer Himself that to Allah alone, that everything comes to an end. كُلُّ شَيْءٍ هَالِكٍ إِلَّا وَجْهَهُ, that Allah will be the ultimate inheritor of all things. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْنَا الْمُسْتَقْدِمِينَ مِنْكُمْ, and we already knew those who have gone before you, those who have passed away before you. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْنَا الْمُسْتَأْخِرِينَ, and we also know who will come in the future, who is about to be born. We know exactly. Everything is under Allah's control. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ يَحْشُرُهُمْ, verily your Lord will gather them together. إِنَّهُ حَكِيمٌ عَلِيمٌ, verily Allah is all wise and all knowing. وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ, in fact we created human being from salsal, from a dry clay, مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ, from a dry clay of rotten earth. وَالْجَانَّ, like an old used up and dry earth. مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ وَالْجَانَّ, and the jinns, خَلَقْنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ, we created before the human beings, مِنْ نَارِ السَّمُومِ, from smokeless blaze of fire. So jinns are made from smokeless fire and human beings from clay. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ, and remember when your master said لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ, to the angels, إِنِّي خَالِقٌ بَشَرًا مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ, He said to the angels that I am going to create a man from dry clay of rotten earth. Ayah number 29, Surah Hijr. فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ, so when I fashioned him and made him, وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ, and I blew into it, مِنْ رُوحِي, from my ruh, فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ, all of them fell in sujood. So first the human body was made, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blew the ruh into it, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told all the angels to do sujood. And that's when the ruh was being blown into Adam alayhi salam. When it reached the nose, he sneezed, and that's when the first word of human being was Alhamdulillah. And then Allah's response was Yarhamukallah. The first word that God speak to man was, may Allah have mercy on you, right? Yarhamukallah. And then that's a sunnah, right? If someone sneezes, say Alhamdulillah, then that person who's listening to that should say Yarhamukallah, because it came from there. فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ, so when He fashioned him and He blew His ruh into it, and all of them fell in sujood. فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ, so all the angels all together fell in sujood. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ, except for Iblis. أَبَى أَنْ يَكُونَ مَعَ السَّاجِدِينَ, he refused to be among those who prostrated. قَالَ يَا إِبْلِيسَ, Allah said, O Iblis, مَا لَكَ, Iblis is the head of shaitan. قَالَ يَا إِبْلِيسَ, O Iblis, مَا لَكَ أَلَّا تَكُونَ مَعَ السَّاجِدِينَ, what is the matter with you that you are not among those who prostrate? قَالَ لَمْ أَكُنْ لِأَسْجُدَ لِبَشَرٍ خَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ مِنْ حَمَإٍ مَسْنُونٍ, he said, I am not going to be the one who is going to prostrate to a man who is created from a dry clay of rotten earth. But I'm not going to do this, because before the ruh was done, shaitan went into the body and he saw what this creature is made from. قَالَ فَخْرُجْ مِنْهَا فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. Allah said to Shaitan, get out of here, إِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. Indeed you are cursed. That's why we say Shaitan al-Rajim. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, the one who's pelted and the one who's cursed. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكَ اللَّعْنَةَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. Verily there is going to be the curse on you إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ, until the day of judgment. Curse means there is no mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah showed mercy to Adam alayhi salam and He removed His mercy from Shaitan. قَالَ رَبِّي فَانظِرْنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. Oh my master, give me some time. See, what did he say? Rabbi, my master. Even he recognized. And that's why even he knows how to call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the name to use is Rabb. That's why we make dua, Rabbana Atina. So it's Rabbi, فَانظِرْنِي إِلَى يَوْمِ يُبْعَثُونَ. Give me some time until the day of resurrection. قَالَ فَإِنَّكَ مِنَ الْمُنظَرِينَ. Allah says, verily you have been given time until that time, until إِلَى يَوْمِ الْوَقْتِ الْمَعْلُومِ, until the time that is known, until the known time, which is the day of judgment. قَالَ رَبِّي بِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. After the dua has been accepted, he speaks up. He says, Rabbi, بِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. My Lord, because you misled me, right? He blames Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَأُزَيِّنَنَّ لَهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. I'm going to beautify to them what is in the earth. وَلَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. And I'm going to mislead all of them all together. So he says, this is first thing we see, that blaming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the people of kufr always blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all the time. The people of shaitan, they always blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we see that shaitan is doing the same thing. You see that throughout the Quran, that blaming Allah. If Allah wanted, we would have been guided. You know, it's not our fault. So he blames Allah for it, and then he says, I'm going to mislead. And that is the limit of shaitan's power. He can only tell you to do, but he's not going to force you to do. It's your choice. إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. And he recognizes the only people who I can control is your sincere servants of yours. قال هذا صراط عليه مستقيم. Allah says, this is a straight path. إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان. Verily my servants, you will not have any authority over them. إلا من اتبعك من الغامين. The only people who follow you are the misguided ones. وإن جهنم لموعدهم أجمعين. And Jahannam will be the appointed time for all of them who follow you. لها سبعة أبواب. Jahannam, it has 7 gates, 7 levels. لكل باب منهم جزء مقسوم. And through every gate, through every level, there will be a particular class of followers of shaitan. So here's an important thing for those people who are taking notes. There are 7 gates, 7 levels of shaitan. So the first level is Jahannam. It is the lowest level, meaning lightest punishment, Jahannam. And in Jahannam, the Muslims will be thrown in Jahannam, the weak Muslims. Number 2, the second level is Sa'ir. And in Sa'ir, the Jews will be thrown. And number 3 is Ladha, the third level. And in Ladha, Christians will be thrown. And number 4 is Hutama and Sabi'ins, right? Sabians. They will be thrown in it. The people who followed, who got the scripture of Dawud alayhi salam. And number 5 is Saqar. Here the Majus, the fire worshippers, will be thrown in. And number 6 is Jahim. Jahim is the 6th level, and Mushrikeen. Mushrikeen will be thrown in Jahim. And the last one is Hawiyah. Who's in the last level? Munafiqeen. Hypocrites. Inna munafiqina fi ad-dark al-asfal min an-nar. The hypocrites, those people who say they're Muslims but don't act like Muslims, inwardly, outwardly, they behave differently. Those are the people who will be thrown in the last level, the worst punishment. Innal muttaqina fi jannatin wa uyun. Verily the righteous people will be in jannatin wa uyun, in gardens and springs. Udkhuluha bi salamin aminin. They will all of you enter with peace, aminin, and secure. وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِم مِّنْ غِلٍّ. And we will remove all kinds of hatred and malice from their hearts. إِخْوَانًا عَلَى سُرُرٍ مُتَقَابِلِينَ. They will become brothers, reclining on couches, looking towards each other. So this is ghil, is, we talked about this before, how Ali radiallahu anh, and like believers working towards the same goal, but they might have some disagreements, and they they have some kind of hatred towards each other. And so these people, even that hatred will be removed from them on the day of judgment, and they will be in Jannah like brothers, right? They will be together. Like Ali radiallahu anhu had something against Uthman and Talha radiallahu anhu, they had something between them. And so Ali radiallahu anhu recites this ayah saying that I hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove that from us on the day of judgment. And he recites this ayah. لا يمسهم فيها نصب وما هم منها بمخرجين. No fatigue will touch them. وما هم منها بمخرجين. And they will never ever come out of Jannah. They will remain in it forever. نبي عبادي. Inform tell my servants أني أنا الغفور الرحيم, that me indeed I am most forgiving and most merciful. وأن عذابي, and tell them that my punishment هو العذاب الأليم, is the painful punishment. So the two qualities of Allah mentioned, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most forgiving, and is also came to the people of Lut alayhi salam. The messengers, the two angels that came to Ibrahim salam, when they came to Lut alayhi salam, قال إنكم قوم منكرون. Lut alayhi salam says, you are unknown, strange people, I've never seen you, who are you? قالوا بل جئناك بما كانوا فيه يمترون. They say that we have come with the truth that they were in doubt. The doubt was punishment. We have come with that truth, that punishment. So we are the angels. وَآتَيْنَاكَ بِالْحَقِّ وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. And we have come with the truth, and we are speaking the truth. فَأَسْرِ بِأَهْلِكَ بِقِطْعٍ مِنَ اللَّيْلِ. So they tell Lut alayhi salam, take your family with you, بِقِطْعٍ مِنَ اللَّيْلِ, in the night time, وَاتَّبِعْ أَدْبَارَهُمْ. And you follow in their backs. When you take them, you be in the back. Make sure that no one is left behind. وَاتَّبِعْ أَدْبَارَهُمْ وَلَا يَلْتَفِتْ مِنْكُمْ أَحَدٍ. No one should turn back. No one even should look back. Right? Just go to this place and keep marching. Do not look back, because the punishment is going to come behind. Minkum ahad wamdu haythu tu'marun, and go to where you're commanded to. وَقَضَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ ذَلِكَ الْأَمْرِ. And we have decreed that this amr, this command will come, that the punishment will come. أَنَّ دَابِرَ هَؤُلَاءِ مَقْطُوعٌ مُصْبِحِينَ. That the roots of these people will be cut off. Root cut off means they'll be completely destroyed from the roots, done. Not even cut, but uprooted and destroyed. دَابِرَ هَؤُلَاءِ مَقْطُوعٌ مُصْبِحِينَ. Cut off when? In the morning time, subh time. Morning time. We talked about this. Punishments usually come in the morning time. That's why we do tasbih in the morning. مُصْبِحِينَ. وَجَاءَ أَهْلُ الْمَدِينَةِ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ. And the people of the town came rejoicing. They got really happy because their two handsome men have come into the city. So they came يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ. قَالَ إِنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ ضَيْفِي فَلَا تَفْضَحُونَ. Lut alayhi salam says to his people, these are my guests, O my people, these are my guests. فَلَا تَفْضَحُونَ. Do not disgrace me. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَلَا تُخْزُونَ. And fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and don't put me in shame. قَالُوا أَوْلَمْ نَنْهَكَ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. The people responded, O Lut, did we stop you? Did we stop you about this? أَوْلَمْ نَنْهَكَ عَنِ الْعَالَمِينَ. From stopping us from anybody? We want to go. قَالَ هَؤُلَاءِ بَنَاتِي. Lut alayhi salam says, these are my daughters. إِن كُنْتُمْ فَاعِلِينَ. If you want to enjoy, marry my daughters. Meaning the women of the city. لَعَمْرُكَ إِنَّهُمْ لَفِي سَكْرَتِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just stops the story, and then He just addresses the Muslims, the readers. Right? Imagine like you're reading a story, a teacher is reading a story, and then the reader stops, and then he speaks to the people listening. I swear by your life, إِنَّهُمْ لَفِي سَكْرَتِهِمْ يَعْمَهُونَ. They were completely blinded and intoxicated in their desires, right? In their intoxication. They are completely blinded. And then he goes back to the story again. فَأَخَذَتْهُمُ الصَّيْحَةُ مُصْبِحِينَ. So a thunderblast came and seized all of them. مُشْرِقِينَ, in the shuruq, the morning time, right? Ishraq time. In the morning time, as they were getting up, a thunderbolt came and destroyed all of them. فَجَعَلْنَا عَالِيَهَا سَافِلَهَا. And we flipped the city. We made the highest point its lowest point. So Jibreel lifted that city and flipped it upside down. On top of that, وَأَمْطَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ حِجَارَةً مِّن سِجِّيلٍ. And we rained them with stones of baked clay, right? So three things: a loud noise, thunderblast, killed all of them. Then city was lifted and flipped, and number three was rain of stones. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْمُتَوَسِّمِينَ. Verily there are many miraculous signs for those who see closely. وَإِنَّهَا لَبِسَبِيلٍ مُقِيمٍ. They are on a highway, on a path that is established. And we know that the nation that is destroyed, the nation of Lut alayhi salam, is on the highway from Yemen to Syria, like that highway, you can see it. So what Allah is saying is that you are passing through this highway every day, every now and then, and you see the city. So there's a lesson for you, for those who see it closely. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Verily there's a miraculous sign in it for the believers. وَإِنْ كَانَ أَصْحَابُ الْأَيْكَةِ لَظَالِمِينَ. Verily the companions of the forest were also transgressors. These were from the followers of Shu'aib alayhi salam, right? Shu'aib alayhi salam is sent to them. So he went there, and even they rejected. فَانْتَقَمْنَا مِنْهُمْ. So we took our vengeance on them and destroyed them. وَإِنَّهُمَا لَبِإِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. And both of them are on an open highway, on an open clear. Even this nation is also on that same road. وَلَقَدْ كَذَّبَ أَصْحَابُ الْحِجْرِ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. Verily, the companions of Hijr also denied the messengers. The companions of Hijr are it's a place where Samud alayhi salam was sent. Sorry, Salih alayhi salam was sent, the nation of Samud, right? Hijr. Ashabul Hijr, even they rejected the messengers. وَآتَيْنَاهُمْ آيَاتِنَا. And we gave them our signs. فَكَانُوا عَنْهَا مُعْرِضِينَ. But they turned away from it. When the Prophet ﷺ and the Sahabas were traveling by their ruins, the Sahabas, they took water from the well, right? From this well where the nation of Thamud was destroyed. And the Prophet ﷺ, when he came to know about this, says, spill all the water. Don't drink any water from these wells. And then they said, we made the dough with this water. So he says, throw all of it. None of it you should keep, everything. And then he says, move from here quickly, because this is a place where punishment came, so you should not stay. But drink from the well where the camel drank from, right? The camel, the Naqatullah, the camel of Salih alayhi salam, you can drink from that, but don't drink from these wells. وَكَانُوا يَنْحِتُونَ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا آمِنِينَ. They used to carve out the mountains for their houses to feel secure. فَأَخَذَتْهُمُ الصَّيْحَةُ مُصْبِحِينَ. And then a thunder blast came, and even they were destroyed as they were getting up in the morning. They were saying, we are inside the mountains, nothing can harm us, no rain can affect us, nothing can harm us. So how does Allah destroy the people who are inside the mountain? Sound. He uses loud noise, and sound can penetrate anything, and he uses that to kill them. Noise is used as a punishment. فَمَا أَغْنَى عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَكْسِبُونَ. Whatever nothing helped them against what they used to do, right? Their sins. وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. And we did not create the heavens and the earth and whatever is in between them except with some purpose, except with the truth. وَإِنَّ السَّاعَةَ لَآتِيَةٌ. Verily the hour, the day of judgment is coming. فَاصْفَحِ الصَّفْحَ الْجَمِيلِ. So ignore the opposition with a decent forbearance, with full patience. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ الْخَلَّاقُ الْعَلِيمُ. Verily your master is a supreme creator and all-knowing. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِي وَالْقُرْآنِ الْعَظِيمِ. And we have given you the 7 repeated ayat, which is Surah Al-Fatiha, right? 7 repeated ayat. We have given you سبعًا من المثاني والقرآن العظيم. And we have given you the great Quran. And we talked about this, how Surah Al-Fatiha is a dua, and the entire Quran is the answer to the dua. It's the explanation of the dua. So Allah explains here, Fatiha and the entire Quran. لا تمدن عينيك. Let your eyes not look above إلى ما متعنا به أزواجا منهم. You should not long for that which we have given to the disbelievers. Don't look beyond, don't look beyond what you have here. أزواجا منهم. And different kinds of it. We have given them a lot, and we have given them different types of it. وَلَا تَحْزَنْ عَلَيْهِمْ. Do not grieve over them. وَخْفِضْ جَنَاحَكَ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So do not be sad that they don't believe Islam, accept your message, but lower your wings towards the believers. Allah said to the Prophet that be humble and your focus should be the believers. And I mentioned this, that your job as a da'i should be on those who are actually interested and who want to learn. Don't waste your time in convincing someone who is bent upon arrogance and disbelief. وَقُلْ إِنِّي أَنَا النَّذِيرُ الْمُبِينُ. And say that verily I am a clear warner. كَمَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَى الْمُقْتَسِمِينَ. Just like how we have sent on the muqtasimin. Muqtasimin are those who fell into sects and divided the religion, which is the Jews and the Christians. الَّذِينَ جَعَلُوا الْقُرْآنَ عِضِينَ. Who made their Quran, meaning their Torah and their books, who made their Quran into different parts, and say that I've been sent just like them. عِضِينَ فَوَرَبِّكَ. And Allah says, by your master, لَنَسْأَلَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. We will surely ask every one of them, عَمَّا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, of what they used to do. فَاصْدَعْ بِمَا تُؤْمَرُ. Allah saying, so come out openly and invite people to Islam. Do not hide your faith. And this is a command for all the Muslims here. فَاصْدَعْ بِمَا تُؤْمَرُ. Openly invite and be bold and don't hide your faith. You are a Muslim and be proud of it. فَاصْدَعْ بِمَا تُؤْمَرُ. And command, call people openly. وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And turn away from the mushrikeen. إِنَّا كَفَيْنَاكَ الْمُسْتَهْزِئِينَ. Indeed, we will take care of you. We will suffice you of whatever mockery and whatever they are planning. الَّذِينَ يَجْعَلُونَ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرَ. Those who have made partners with Allah, a God besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَسَوْفَ يَعْلَمُونَ. Soon they will know. وَلَقَدْ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّكَ يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ بِمَا يَقُولُونَ. Allah says, Ya Rasulullah, we know that your chest gets constricted with what they say. That when they say bad things about you, about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about the religion, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts you. Anybody, even for a Muslim, when someone says bad about the Prophet, it hurts. يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ. Your chest gets constricted. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. What is the remedy for that? Remedy is glorify Allah. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَكُمْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. And be with those who do sujood. وَاعْبُدُ رَبَّكَ. And worship your Lord. حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينَ. Until certainty, until death comes to you, continue and worshiping. This is the final message the Prophet has given. The overall message of the surah is that be steadfast in deen despite the opposition. Doesn't matter what the opposition is, continue your work and know Allah will take care of you. And when they hurt you, in the daytime, when they hurt you, what should you do? In the night time, you should stand up and do the tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the balance a believer needs to have. In the daytime, he's doing da'wah. In the night time, he's worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even when anybody hurts you, best thing to do is tasbih and ibadah of Allah and increase in your sujood and beg and complain to Allah. And that is your help. So then we move on to Surah Al-Nahl. Surah Al-Nahl is, Nahl means the bees, right? Honeybee. And this surah is revealed after Surah Al-Kahf. It is a Makki surah. And again, the context is similar to Hijr, that it is revealed when the opposition is intense. The Meccans are persecuting, a lot of the Muslims are killed. And during this time, the Muslims also migrate to Abyssinia, right? That happened during this time. And Ammar bin Yasir, all these Sahabas being persecuted and punished for accepting Islam. So that is a context in the time it was revealed. And this surah, the blessings of nature is highlighted in this surah, right? The blessings in the nature is highlighted. And also another name of this surah is Ni'am, blessings. This surah is filled with blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah highlights His blessing. And this is important for us Canadians. We need to know this surah because we are blessed with a lot of things. And if anything, we have to be, recognize these blessings and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a surah, I think it's very important for us, surahs like this. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ata amrullahi fala tasta'jilu. The command of Allah has already come. Do not hasten to it. The last surah ended, worship until the command of Allah comes. Allah is saying the command of Allah has already come. The punishment of Allah has already come, right? Or it's almost there. فَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلُوا. Do not hasten it. Ata is past tense, but what it means is that punishment is coming. But the past tense is used to show that it's happening for sure. It's coming for sure. فَلَا تَسْتَعْجِلُوا. Do not hasten it. Subhanahu wa ta'ala amma yushrikun. Above, Allah is free from all imperfection. Wa ta'ala amma yushrikun. He is exalted and above whatever they associate partners with. So they say that they were commanding that the Prophet ﷺ should bring the punishment on them. Right? He should bring the punishment because they believed the Prophet ﷺ was on falsehood and they were on the right. And if the Prophet ﷺ is on the truth, then the punishment should come and destroy them. That's their proof that Islam is true. That if they don't accept Islam, there should be punishment on them. So Allah is saying, Allah is above all of it, amma yushrikun, of whatever you associate. And the punishment is coming. That's the response Allah gives. يُنَزِّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةَ بِالرُّوحِ مِنْ أَمْرِهِ. He sends down the angels with Ruh, Jibreel alayhi salam, min amrihi, with His orders, عَلَى مَنْ يَشَاءُ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ, on whom He wills. He's not going to send the angels because you demand it. He will send whenever He wants on whomever He wants. And andiru, that you warn, أنه لا إله إلا أنا فاتقون, that there is no one worthy of worship except me. You should only fear me. خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق. Allah is the one, He is the one who created the heavens and the earth with purpose, with wisdom, that everything you see, the shape of the sun, the moon, the gravity, how much should the gravity be, and everything, all the laws that Allah has set, everything He has created with purpose, with some reason. Do your eyes, why your eyes hear, the way your ears are made, everything is made with wisdom, for a reason. تعالى عما يشركون. Allah is above whatever they associate. خلق الإنسان. He created the human beings from من نطفة, from a drop of liquid. فإذا هو خصيم مبين. Then here he is arguing, and he is a clear disputant. What we see here is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, Allah is the one who made you from nothing, and now you have the audacity to argue with the Creator. How, خصيم مبين, that he's arguing. وَالْأَنْعَامَ خَلَقَهَا, and he created the livestock, the sheep, goat, camel, all of this for you. خَلَقَهَا لَكُمْ فِيهَا دِفْء. In it you have, why cattle is highlighted? Because we talked about An'am, how the Quraysh were into cattle and all these things. Allah says He is the one who created, not the false gods. لَكُمْ فِيهَا دِفْء. In the cattle you have warmth, you have something like wool and content for you to stay warm, right? Alhamdulillah, we can appreciate this in Canada for sure. لَكُمْ فِيهَا دِفْءٌ وَمَنَافِعُ. And there is benefit from the cattle. وَمِنْهَا تَأْكُلُونَ. And from what you eat, that you use the cattle always for you to clothe yourself, but you eat from it, and you also benefit from it, from its skin, from its horns. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا جَمَالٌ حِينَ تُرِيحُونَ وَحِينَ تَسْرَحُونَ. And you have وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا جَمَالٌ حِينَ. And for you in that is a elegance. Right? Jamalul Hain is beautification. Hina turihun, when you bring them to rest. Wahina tasrahun, when you take them out for grazing. So when you think about cattle, you should think about cars. Right? You should think about cars. So Allah is saying, when you take them out in the evening, there is beauty, there is power. For the Arabs, having animals is a sign of wealth. So Allah is saying, Allah gave you all of that. وَتَحْمِلُ أَثْقَالَكُمْ إِلَى بَلَدٍ لَمْ تَكُونُوا بَالِغِيهِ إِلَّا بِشِقِّ الْأَنفُسِ. And they carry your Lord. Imagine for trade and for different reasons, these cattle and the carts, for us we should be thinking that they carry your Lord, and they make you reach a land where you would not have reached except with a lot of difficulties. Imagine driving long distance. Allah is saying He gave you that. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not give you this, you would have never reached those lands except with a lot of difficulties. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَرَؤُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. Verily your Master is most kind and most merciful. When you go out and you see cars around, you should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thank Allah that He gave human being such capacity to make these things. And for the Arabs was the cattle, right? Natural thing. He made the cattle for that. وَالْخَيْلَ وَالْبِغَالَ وَالْحَمِيرَ. And the horses and mules and donkeys. لِتَرْكَبُوهَا وَزِينَةً. You ride on it, and also it's a sign of beauty and adornment. وَيَخْلُقُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And He creates what you do not know. وَعَلَى اللَّهِ قَصْدُ السَّبِيلِ. And it is on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show the straight path. وَمِنْهَا جَائِرٌ. And of it there is deviation, and from among them there is also deviation. وَلَوْ شَاءَ لَهَدَاكُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Had Allah willed, He would have guided all of you together. هو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء. Allah is the one who sent down the water from the sky. لكم for you منه شراب. For you drink from it. ومنه شجر. And out of it you have vegetation. فيه تسيمون. And you also graze your cattle with it. So Allah sent the water for what? For you to drink, for vegetation, and so that your cattle can also benefit from that vegetation. يُنْبِتُ لَكُمْ بِهِ الزَّرْعَ وَالزَّيْتُونَ. He grows for you crops and olives, وَالنَّخِيلَ and date palms, وَالْأَعْنَابِ and grapes, وَمِنْ كُلِّ ثَمَرَاتٍ and all kinds of fruits. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Verily there is a miraculous sign for a nation that reflects over all of these things. That one water gives rise to all different kinds, and how it's made palatable for us to enjoy. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ. And He made the night and day, the sun and moon subservient in service to you. وَالنُّجُومَ مُسَخَّرَاتٌ بِأَمْرِي. And the stars are made subservient to you by His command. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. Verily, in that are many, many miraculous signs for a nation that understands. وَمَا ذَرَأَ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ مُخْتَلِفًا أَلْوَانُ. From what you, Allah, and all of that, Allah has created for you in the earth of different colors. Allah has created all of these things in different colors. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. Verily, in it is a miraculous sign for a nation that pays attention, that takes heed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is highlighting different things from the creation. Muslims should do a PhD in all the blessings Allah highlights here. Right? Every single thing you have to study in depth. Why? Because Allah says after every blessing, He says, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ. In the cattle, in the sun, in the moon, in the vegetation, in the way the crops grow. All of it, there is ayat for a nation that believes, for a nation that reflects. Doing PhD means reflecting over these things, right? Doing a master or PhD, whatever it is, you should. That's one of the reasons why I was really, attracted towards biology, right? Science, because it's just so many signs in it. So Allah is saying there are many, many, many signs for a nation that reflects over it. هُوَ الَّذِي سَخَّرَ الْبَحْرَ. He is the one who made the sea subservient. The sea does not go here and there. It's obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has made it for you. لِتَأْكُلُوا. Why? Why has the sea made subservient? لِتَأْكُلُوا مِنْهُ لَحْمًا طَرِيًّا. So you can eat fresh meat from it. The seafood is highlighted and praised in the Quran. لَحْمًا طَرِيًّا. Beautiful, fresh meat like the fish and all that. وَتَسْتَخْرِجُ مِنْهُ حِلْيَةً تَلْبَسُونَهَا. And He also made the sea subservient to you so that you can take out ornaments from the sea like pearls and corals. تَلْبَسُونَهَا, which you put it on, which you wear. وَتَرَى الْفُلْكَ مَوَاخِرَ فِيهِ. And He made the ships that can take you over the sea. مِنْ فَضْلِ, from His special bounty. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may show gratitude, you may be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look, a ship does not sink in the ocean, but a small coin sinks in the ocean. Right? A small coin, it will sink. But how come a huge ship does not sink in the ocean? Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made this laws, this density and all this, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make life easy for you. And Allah said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may be thankful. How do you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The best way to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is use the blessings He has given you in His path. That whatever blessings you have, like this food Allah has given you, or these jewelries Allah has given you, all of these things you should have to use it for Allah's path, for His service and thank. And that is a way to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you use it in the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is kufr. وَأَلْقَى فِي الْأَرْضِ, ayah number 15, Surah Nahl. وَأَلْقَى فِي الْأَرْضِ رَوَاسِيَ, and He placed mountains in the earth, أَن تَمِيدَ بِكُمْ, so that the earth does not shake. وَأَنْهَارًا, and He made the rivers. وَسُبُلًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ, and He made these paths, these tracks in the earth so that you may be guided. وَعَلَامَاتٍ, and He made landmarks. Imagine in the desert and sea, if you're traveling in the desert and sea, what's the way to travel? Right? How do you travel? There are some landmarks. You would just see, okay, that place comes, you want to take a right from there, go this degree south. Allah has placed landmarks around it. وَعَلَامَاتٍ وَبِالنَّجْمِ هُمْ يَهْتَدُونَ, and even by means of stars, you are guided. All of this is a blessing of Allah. Allah says, أَفَمَنْ يَخْلُقُ كَمَنْ لَا يَخْلُقُ, is the one who creates. Can He be like the one who does not create? أَفَلَا تَذَكَّرُونَ, will you not take heed? وَإِن تَعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا, if you start counting the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَا تُحْصُوهَا, you will never be able to count them. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, verily your Master is most forgiving and most merciful. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ مَا تُسِرُّونَ وَمَا تُعْلِنُونَ, Allah knows whatever you hide and whatever you disclose. وَالَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, and those people who call on gods besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لا يخلقون شيئا, they don't create anything. وهم يخلقون, while they themselves are created. That Allah has made all these blessings for us. أموات غير أحياء, these things that you call upon, they are dead and they are not living. Like a lot of the idols are human beings that are dead. Right? They made idols out of human beings, like Lat and Uzza, Naila and Asaf, and all these saints, the grave of saints, all these things. Allah is saying they are dead and they are not alive. وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ أَيَّانَ يُبْعَثُونَ, and they themselves do not know when they will be resurrected. إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ, your God is one God. فَالَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ, as for those people who don't believe in the hereafter, قُلُوبُهُمْ مُنْكِرَةٌ, their hearts refuse to acknowledge. They don't want to. They don't believe in the hereafter, so they don't want to acknowledge these blessings and the Rabb. وَهُمْ مُسْتَكْبِرُونَ, and they are arrogant. They don't want to believe in the life after death because they have done so many bad things, so they don't want to believe. Therefore, they don't want to accept Islam because They don't want to face the consequences of it. لا جرم, there is no doubt. إن الله يعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون. Verily your Master Allah knows ما يسرون, what they conceal, وما يعلنون, and what they disclose. إنه لا يحب المستكبرين. Allah does not like the arrogant ones. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ مَاذَا أَنزَلَ رَبُّكُمْ, and when it is said to them, مَاذَا أَنزَلَ رَبُّكُمْ, what is it that your Lord has sent down? قَالُوا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. Their response is going to be أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent these fairy tales, this myths of the past, and أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. That's what they call the Quran. لِيَحْمِلُوا أَوْزَارَهُم. Because of their statement, Allah says, they will carry أَوْزَارَهُم, their loads, كَامِلَةً in full. They will carry their sins, the burden of their sins on their backs. يوم القيامة, on the day of judgment. ومن أوزار الذين يضلونهم بغير علم. And they will also carry the load of those people who they misled without knowledge. That you are following the wrong path, and whoever followed your wrong path, you will carry the sin. Right? Whatever bad you do, you will get the sin for that, and anybody who follows that bad, you will get the sin for it. أَلَا سَاءَ مَا يَزِرُونَ. How bad is what they are going to bear and carry. قَدْ مَكَرَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Surely the people before them also plotted, and they plotted. فَأَتَى اللَّهُ بُنْيَانَهُمْ. They plotted against the messengers. So what happened? فَأَتَى اللَّهُ بُنْيَانَهُمْ مِنَ الْقَوَاعِدِ. So Allah destroyed their buildings from their foundations. Allah destroyed them from their foundations. فَخَرَّ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّقْفُ. And their ceilings collapsed on them. Ceiling collapsing means that buildings... So first is they were destroyed, the other is they were killed and the buildings were there, and then over time the first thing that is destroyed is the ceiling, right? So the ruins were left and were destroyed. فَخَرَّ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّقْفُ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ. And the roof collapsed on them from above. وَأَتَاهُمُ الْعَذَابُ. And punishment came to them مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. From where they did not realize. ثُمَّ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Then on the day of judgment, يُخْزِيهِمْ. He will disgrace them. وَيَقُولُ. And will say, أَيْنَ شُرَكَائِي الَّذِينَ كُنْتُمْ تُشَاقُّونَ فِيهِمْ. He will ask them, where are those partners of mine whom you used to use to disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? قَالَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمِ. And the people who are given the book, who have the true knowledge, will say, إِنَّ الْخِزْيَ الْيَوْمَ وَالسُّوءَ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Verily today the misery is on those people who disbelieve. الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ ظَالِمِي أَنفُسِهِمْ. Who are the disbelievers? There are those people who تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, who the angels take their souls when they are wronging themselves. So when the angels take their souls, they are committing sins, they are wronging themselves, they are not accepting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message or obeying Him. ظَالِمِي أَنفُسِهِمْ. They are doing shirk. And what's going to happen? فَأَلْقَوْا السَّلَمَ. Then they will submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When death comes, so we know that before death comes, few seconds before death comes, the people can actually see the results. Right? They will know where they're going. Jannah or Jahannam, which angels come, they know it. Right? That's why you see a believer smiles when he's passing away, because he sees in a few seconds before he sees the good news, he smiles. And some people, the people who die and they have a bad news, you will see their face, it's scary, right? ظالمي, because the angels beat them, right? ظالمي أنفسهم فألقوا السلام. They will submit as soon as they see the angels. La ilaha illallah, we submit, but it's too late because they already saw it. That's few seconds before that. فألقوا السلام ما كنا نعمل من سوء. We didn't do any wrong, and this is the quality of people who do wrong, that they will always take a defensive position. ما كنا نعمل من سوء. We didn't do anything wrong. We were on the righteous, aren't we? بلى إن الله عليم بما كنتم تعملون. Verily Allah is all knowing of what you are doing. فدخلوا أبواب جهنم. Enter the gates of Jahannam. خالدين فيها. You will remain in it forever and ever. فلبئس مثل المتكبرين. What an evil place is that for those who are arrogant. وقيل للذين اتقوا. And it will be said to those people who had taqwa, who guarded themselves from Allah's punishment. ماذا أنزل ربكم. What did Allah send down to you? When it is asked them, they will say قالوا خيرا. Allah has sent down only good. للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة. For those people who do good in this worldly life, they will have hasana. They will have hasana. Like we say, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة. So those people who do excellent, who do good, they will have hasana in this dunya, like a good life, a content heart, they will have chances to do good deeds, right? And good name. وَلَدَارُ الْآخِرَةِ خَيْرٌ, but the home of the hereafter is better. وَلَنِعْمَ دَارُ الْمُتَّقِينَ, how excellent is the home of the righteous. جَنَّاتُ عَدْنٍ, gardens of eternity. يَدْخُلُونَهَا, they will enter in it. تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِ الْأَنْهَارِ, they will enter in place where there will be rivers flowing underneath. لَهُمْ فِيهَا مَا يَشَاءُونَ, they will have whatever they desire. كَذَلِكَ يَجْزِي اللَّهُ الْمُتَّقِينَ, that is how Allah rewards the righteous people. Can you have anything you want in this dunya? No, you cannot. But if you have taqwa in this dunya, Allah says He will get whatever they want. الَّذِينَ تَتَوَفَّاهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ طَيِّبِينَ, on the flip side, as for the angels who take the soul of those who are in the state of goodness, طَيِّبِينَ, what is going to happen to them? يَقُولُونَ, they will say, سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ. The angels will, when the angels enter upon a good soul, they will say, سَلَامٌ عَلَيْكُمْ, may peace be upon you. أُدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةِ, enter Jannah. بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, because of what you used to do. Amal is halal, not ilm. Because of what you knew? No, what you used to do. Amal is what matters. بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ هَلْ يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَّا أَنْ تَأْتِيهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, are they waiting that angels should come to them? أَوْ يَأْتِيَ أَمْرُ رَبِّكَ, that the command of Allah should come on them? That are they waiting for death to come? Are they waiting for Allah's punishment to come? كَذَلِكَ فَعَلَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ, that's exactly what people before them were doing. وَمَا ظَلَمَهُمُ اللَّهُ, Allah did not wrong them. وَلَكِنْ أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ, but they wronged themselves, but not by not accepting the message. فَأَصَابَهُمْ سَيِّئَاتُ مَا عَمِلُوا, so these people, the evil consequences of their actions will hit them, will befall on them. وَحَاقَ بِهِمْ مَا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ, and whatever they used to make fun of, that will encircle them. The punishment will encircle them. مَا كَانُوا بِهِ يَسْتَهْزِئُونَ, because of what they used to mock at. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا, and those people who associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who do shirk, will say, لَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا عَبَدْنَا مِن دُونِهِ مِن شَيْءٍ, if had Allah willed, we would have never worshipped anybody besides Him. Same thing again, the polytheists, the people of kufr will always blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will blame others, right? If something happens, so they're blaming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for their mistakes. Had Allah willed, it's not our fault, it's the qadr Allah. Allah just willed that we should not accept. So if had Allah willed, we would have worshipped Him. نَحْنُ وَلَا آبَاؤُنَا, we would not have worshipped anybody besides Him, neither us nor our forefathers. وَلَا حَرَّمْنَا مِن دُونِهِ مِن شَيْءٍ, and we would not have made haram, besides Him anything. Meaning they would make different cattle and haram and different animals haram. So they say we would not have, we wouldn't have done that. كَذَلِكَ فَعَلَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ, that's exactly the people before them did. فَهَلْ عَلَى الرُّسُلِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ, aren't the messengers then sent only to convey the clear message? So Allah refused that claim that had Allah willed, we would not have been worshipping idols. And the answer to that is, well, messages came to you with clear message telling you to worship on God and so many things, and that's not the excuse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولٍ, indeed we raised among every nation a messenger. Every nation had a messenger. So no, people say the disbelievers don't know about Islam. No, Allah is saying every nation had a messenger. Doesn't have to be like a prophet of Allah messenger, but even a human being, a messenger coming and telling the message. أَنْ يَعْبُدُ اللَّهِ, that you should worship Allah, وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ, and remove and stay away from the false gods. فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ هَدَى اللَّهِ, and among them are those whom Allah guided. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ حَقَّتْ عَلَيْهِ الضَّلَالَةُ, and among them are those on whom misguidance was due. فَسِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ, go and traverse in the land and travel. فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ, see what was the end of those people who disbelieve in the land. When you think about traveling and going out of a city or something, you should plan to go and visit these places, right? This should be your you should not travel just for fun. There's no travel just for fun. Like some scholars say, like shortening prayers cannot be done if you're traveling for fun. Right? Some scholars say that, but you should still do it. But you should travel to learn. It should be an ibrah. It should be a change for you. There should be some purpose in your traveling, not just that you're going to just have fun and just enjoy it. You're not here for in dunya. this is not Jannah. فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الْمُكَذِّبِينَ. See the end of those people who denied. إِنْ تَحْرِصْ عَلَى هُدَاهُمْ. If you intend on their guidance, Surah Nahl, Ayah 37. إِنْ تَحْرِصْ عَلَى هُدَاهُمْ. If you intend on their guidance, that you feel sad that they are not guided, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي مَنْ يُضِلُّ. Then know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide the one whom He leads astray. The one who does not want to be guided, Allah will not guide him. وَمَا لَهُمْ مِن نَاصِرِينَ. And they will not have any helpers. وَأَقْسَمُوا بِاللَّهِ جَهْدَ أَيْمَانِهِمْ. And they swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala their emphatic oaths. لَا يَبْعَثُ اللَّهُ مَن يَمُوتُ. They swear by Allah saying, Allah will not resurrect the dead. لَا يَبْعَثُ اللَّهُ مَن يَمُوتُ. بَلَى. No, rather وَعْدًا عَلَيْهِ حَقًّا. It is a promise on Him. وَلَكِنَّ أَكْثَرَ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But most people do not know. لِيُبَيِّنَ لَهُمُ الَّذِي يَخْتَلِفُونَ فِيهِ. So to make, so that you make to them, so you clarify to them الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ, in what they used to defer Him. وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. And those people should, so that those people who disbelieve know أَنَّهُمْ كَانُوا كَاذِبِينَ, that they are liars. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bring the day of judgment, is going to bring all of this, so that people know in what they were deferring in, right? الَّذِي هُمْ فِي مُخْتَلِفُونَ. They were in disagreement with the day of judgment, so people can clarify that, and then the disbelievers know that they were liars. إِنَّمَا قَوْلُنَا لِشَيْءٍ. Verily, when we intend to do something, our word, when we intend to do something, إِذَا أَرَدْنَاهُ أَن نَقُولَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونَ. That we say kun, we say be, and it becomes. وَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا. Again, this is the context of the Muslims being persecuted. And those people who migrated fillah, in the cause of Allah. And these are the group who migrated from Mecca to Abyssinia for shelter. وَالَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا فِي اللَّهِ. Those who migrated in the cause of Allah. مِن بَعْدِ مَا ظُلِمُوا. After they were wrong. لَنُبَوِّئَنَّهُمْ فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا. We will surely settle them, give them as good settlement in this dunya, good place to live. وَلَأَجْرُ الْآخِرَةِ أَكْبَرُ. But the reward of the hereafter is better. لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. If only they knew. الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. They are those people who are patient and they rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They put their tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَمَا أَرْسَلَ مِن قَبْلِكَ إِلَّا رِجَالًا نُوحِي إِلَيْهِمْ. And we did not send before them any men. We did not send anybody before them except men who we communicated, not angels. That we send human beings as messengers. فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So ask the people of the scriptures if you do not know. Ask the people who came before you, like the Jews and the Christians. They will tell you there was always human beings sent as messengers. Obviously the audience are Meccans. بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَالزُّبُرِ. They came with clear evidences and clear scriptures. وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الذِّكْرِ. And that's how we also send to you the Quran, the dhikr. What is the purpose of this? What's the purpose of sending down the book? And what is the Prophet's mission? لِتُبَيِّنَ لِلنَّاسِ مَا نُزِّلَ إِلَيْهِمْ. So that you explain to the people what has been sent down to them. وَلَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. So that they reflect over it. So a lot of people say, I will just follow the Quran, not the ahadith. But the Quran itself says that we send down the book to you so that you explain to the people what has been sent down. That this Quran, Allah says, through this Quran, many will be misled and many will be guided. And so this Quran can mislead somebody if you don't have the right understanding of it. So that's why you have the Prophet ﷺ, his hadith and his explanation for our guidance. أَفَأَمِنَ الَّذِينَ مَكَّرُوا السَّيِّئَاتِ. Those people who plot evil, do they feel safe? أَنْ يَخْسِفَ اللَّهُ بِهِمُ الْأَرْضِ. That Allah subhanahu, do they feel safe from Allah's punishment? That He can make the earth, that He can open up the earth and make them sink in the earth. أَوْ يَأْتِيَهُمُ الْعَذَابُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Or the punishment comes from a place where they were not expecting from. أَوْ يَأْخُذَهُمْ فِي تَقَلُّبِهِمْ فَمَا هُمْ بِمُعْجِزِينَ. Or do they feel safe that the punishment can come when they are traveling, when they're moving around? Or أَوْ يَأْخُذَهُمْ عَلَى تَخَوُّفٍ. That the punishment can come when they are in panic, when they are in fear. فَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَرَءُوفٌ رَحِيمٌ. Verily your Master is most kind and most merciful. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala highlights three ways of punishment. There are three kinds of punishment, right? Punishment can come from the earth. That earth can just swallow. Like you're committing a sin, the earth can just open up, earthquake comes, something like that, and you just go inside the earth. Like it happened with Qarun. That can happen. Or that the punishment can come when you're traveling, right? When you're traveling, when you're driving somewhere, moving, air crash, plane crash, or like in the sea or car crash, whatever. When you're traveling, that can happen, or it can happen in the state of fear, in the state of fearing punishment. And actually, Umar radiallahu anh, when he asked what's the khawf means, he says that it is becoming weak slowly. That you slowly move towards death and you become weaker and weaker. So ala takhawuf, that's also a punishment. Do they feel safe do they feel safe from the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that can come in any of these three ways? أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا إِلَى مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Don't they see towards what Allah has created from things? يَتَفَيَّأُ ظِلَالُهُ, that He makes them incline its shade. يَتَفَيَّأُ ظِلَالُهُ, that the shade inclines عَنِ الْيَمِينِ وَالشَّمَائِلِ, on the right and the left, that the shade is all around them. سُجَّدًا لِلَّهِ, that the shade is doing sujood to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُمْ دَاخِرُونَ, and they are in humble submission. That they don't want to submit, but their own shadow is submitting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلِلَّهِ يَسْجُدُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. To Allah alone, bows, or everything in the heavens and the earth only do sujood and prostrate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is saying here is not to the false gods. Min dabbatin, from the creatures, wal malaika, and even the angels, wahum la yastakbirun, and they are not arrogant. So يَخَافُونَ رَبَّهُمْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ, they fear their master above them. وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ, and they do whatever they are commanded to do. So this is the ayah of sajda. So let's do sajda inshallah. Look, the ayah is saying everybody does sujood to him, and they're not arrogant. And that's what the ayah says, do sujood. So we do sujood to show that we are among those people. Number 51, Surah Nahl. وَقَالَ اللَّهُ, Allah says, لَا تَتَّخِذُوا إِلَهَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ, do not take two gods as your ilah. إِنَّمَا هُوَ إِلَهُ وَاحِدٌ, verily your ilah, your God is one. فَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ, so Him alone you should fear. وَلَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, to Him belongs whatever. وَلَهُ الدِّينُ وَاصِبًا أَفَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ تَتَّقُونَ, is it that other than Allah they fear? وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ, whatever blessings you have is from Allah. وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ. We say this in the morning. اللهم ما أصبح بي من نعمة أو بأحد من خلقك فمنك وحدك لا شريك لك. Right? All blessings on me and on anybody is from you, Ya Allah. Right? So Allah says here, وَمَا بِكُم مِّن نِعْمَةٍ فَمِنَ اللَّهِ, whatever blessings you have is from Allah. ثُمَّ إِذَا مَسَّكُمُ الضُّرُّ فَإِلَيْهِ تَجَأْرُونَ, and when something bad happens to you, you start making dua, تَجَأْرُونَ. ثُمَّ إِذَا كَشَفَ الضُّرَّ عَنْكُمْ, and when He removes that harm from you, إِذَا فَرِيقٌ مِّنْكُمْ بِرَبِّهِمْ يُشْرِكُونَ, then a party from it does shirk and turns again on disobedience. لِيَكْفُرُوا بِمَا آتَيْنَاهُمْ, you show ingratitude for the blessings we have given. That when you are in trouble, you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When success comes, you forget about Him and you give credit to somebody else and you follow your desires and disobey Him. آتَيْنَاهُمْ فَتَمَتَّعُوا, so enjoy yourself. فَسَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ, you will soon come to know. وَيَجْعَلُونَ لِمَا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ نَصِيبًا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُم, and they set for a portion for what they do not know. That they use Allah's gift to set partners with Him. That when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them something, نَصِيبًا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُم, that they give that portion to someone who does not deserve, and they do shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like offering things for the gods. تَاللَّهِ, by Allah, لَتُسْأَلُنَّ عَمَّا كُنْتُمْ تَفْتَرُونَ, you will surely be asked for all the things that you used to make up. وَيَجْعَلُونَ لِلَّهِ الْبَنَاتِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَلَهُمْ مَا يَشْتَهُونَ, and Allah says they give daughters to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhana, He's free from all of that. وَلَهُمْ مَا يَشْتَهُونَ, and they have what they desires. So what the Makkans would do is that they would say that the goddesses and the angels are daughters of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah is saying, you assign daughters to Allah and you yourself don't like daughters. You want male child. And Allah says in the next ayah, وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُهُمْ بِالْأُنْثَى, when the good news is given to one of them of a female child, بِالْأُنْثَى, ظَلَّ وَجْهُهُ مُسْوَدًّا. His face turns black, right? He becomes angry. وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ. And he is depressed and suppresses his grief. He becomes angry and suppresses it, right? So when a female child, that that's where a lot of abortion happens, that they don't want female child. A lot of females are killed, right? Female babies are killed. And what they would do, the Arabs would do, is they would, if it's a female baby, they would bury her alive, right? They would bury her alive. They'll actually give birth. Some of them will give birth in the grave. And if the woman gives birth to a female, they would bury her in the grave alive. And if it's a male, they would bring it back home. And so Allah says, يَتَوَارَى مِنْ الْقَوْمِ. He hides from the people, مِنْ سُوء, of evil, مَا بُشِّرَ بِهِ, of what he has been given, what news, the good news he has been given. Right? He hides from the people. أَيُمْسِكُهُ عَلَى هُونٍ أَمْ يَدُسُّهُ فِي التُّرَابِ. So when a female baby is born, this person questions himself, أَيُمْسِكُهُ عَلَى هُونٍ. Should I retain this baby in disgrace, in humiliation? أو أم يدسه في التراب or should I bury her in the earth? ألا ساء ما يحكمون. How bad is what they judge. للذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة مثل السوء. Verily, for those people who don't believe in the hereafter, is an evil example. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. And to Allah belongs the best of examples, the highest of examples. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Verily, Allah is Almighty and All-Wise. Ayah number 61, Surah Nahl. وَلَوْ يُؤَاخِذُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِظُلْمِهِمْ. If Allah were to punish the people for the wrongdoings they are doing, مَا تَرَكَ عَلَيْهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ. There would not have been any creature left on the earth. This is the answer to the Quraysh. Why is the punishment not coming? Bring it right now. Allah is saying, if Allah were to punish us for our mistakes now, then there would not have been anybody living on the earth. Right? ما ترك عليه من دابة ولكن يؤخرهم إلى أجل مسمى. But He puts it off, He delays it for a set time. فإذا جاء أجلهم. But when that time actually comes, لا يستأخرون ساعة ولا يستقدمون. They will not be able to delay that time even for a second or make it come earlier. ولا يستقدمون. ويجعلون. And they make لله, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ما يكرهون, what they detest. وتصف ألسنتهم الكذب. And their tongues make lies. أن لهم الحسنى, that they will have the best things. لا جرم. They say that they are guaranteed Jannah, and they say the wrong things for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لا جرم. No doubt. أن لهم النار. They will have fire. وأنهم مفرطون. And they will be rushed into it. تالله, by Allah, لقد أرسلنا إلى أمم من قبلك. We indeed sent out to many nations before this. فزين لهم الشيطان أعمالهم. But Shaitan beautified their deeds to them. فهو وليهم اليوم. So Shaitan is going to be their best friend today. ولهم عذاب أليم. And they will have a painful punishment. وما أنزلنا عليك الكتاب. And we did not send the book on you إلا لتبين لهم, except that you clarify to them. Again, the same message is highlighted, that the Prophet's mission is to clarify the book, and that goes for us Muslims too, to convey this message. الذين اختلفوا فيه, to clarify them in what they used to differ in. وَهُدًى, and a guidance, وَرَحْمَةً, and a mercy, لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ, for a nation that believes. وَاللَّهُ أَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً. Allah is the one who sent down the water from the sky. فَأَحْيَا بِهِ الْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ مَوْتِهَا. The water gives life to the dead land. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَسْمَعُونَ. Verily in it are clear signs for a nation that listens, that gives their that pays attention. وَإِنَّ لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ لَعِبْرًا. Verily in the cattle there is a lesson for you. نسقيكم مما في بطونه. We give you the drink from its bellies. من بين فرث ودم. Between the excretion and the blood. لبنا خالصا, pure milk. سائغا للشاربين. Tasty and palatable for those who drink. You think about Allah saying this huge lesson for you in the cattle. Look at the stomach of the cattle. There's so many fluids inside the cattle. There's blood, there's excretion, there's urine, there's all kinds of other bodily liquids, and there's milk. And out of all that filth, from there He brings something pure that you can enjoy, that is really good and healthy for you. Right? Isn't this an ayah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Who is doing that? Is there anybody who's doing and separating the milk from all the other filth? Allah saying this is a huge lesson for you. And so Muslims should do a PhD on just and just milk, and how milk comes out and all the processes inside the kettle, right? There are so many lessons in that. وَمِن ثَمَرَاتِ النَّخِيلِ, and from the crops and date palms, وَالْأَعْنَابِ, and from grapes, تَتَّخِذُونَ مِنْهُ سَكَرًا, you make what? Sakar, you make intoxicants like alcohol. وَرِزْقًا حَسَنًا, and you make wholesome provision, you make provision from it. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ, and it is a great ayah, a great lesson for a nation that uses their intellect. وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and your master communicates with the nahl, with the bee. This surah is named after this, right? Bee, nahl. And اتَّخِذِي مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتٍ, that you should take your paths in the mountains, make your house in the mountains, وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ, and make your house in the trees and whatever in the trellis that you erect. ثُمَّ كُلِي مِنْ كُلِّ ثَمَرَاتٍ, Allah is speaking to the bee. Allah is saying it's Allah who communicates to the bee and guides the bee, right? ثُمَّ كُلِي مِنْ كُلِّ ثَمَرَاتٍ, then Allah is saying, eat from every fruit and follow فَاسْلُكِي سُبُلَ رَبِّكِ ذُلُلًا, and follow the way of your master, and follow move under the guidance of your master. يَخْرُجُ مِنْ بُطُونِهَا, the honeybee brings out from his stomach, from his bellies, شَرَابٌ, drink, مُخْتَلِفٌ أَلْوَانُهُ, which has different colors, فِيهِ شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ, in it is cure for people. Honey is cure for people. Allah says شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ, that honey is cure for people. And we see that nahl, the honeybee, it's very organized, right? It leaves early in the morning, and it travels 50,000 miles in its entire life. 50,000 miles. And to do what? To produce just half a spoon of honey. 50,000 miles to produce half a spoon of honey, so we can enjoy, we can benefit. And this is what the honeybee does. It's focused, and it's faithful, and it's a good team player, that they work together and they make something for the human beings. And the lesson for us here is that you human beings, you should do something like the honeybee that can benefit people after it dies. Right? That after the honeybee dies, people benefit from it. What are we doing? Are we making even something? Muslims are not doing anything. Right? We don't create, we are always consuming. We should be making cars, we should be making, technology, we should be ahead, and we should be ahead in everything, right? Be productive like the honeybee. And the Prophet ﷺ compares a believer to a honeybee, right? Just like the honeybee, so what a honeybee does is that it eats pure things, and it gives out pure things. And when it uses something, it does not corrupt it. It uses it and leaves it in a better situation, in a better place than it was. So we human beings should eat good and also leave something that is good. And also, when the honeybee sits on flowers, it does not destroy it. It actually helps the flower in pollination. Right? So it does so many good things. مُخْتَلِفٌ أَلْوَانُهُ, this honey has different colors. شِفَاءٌ لِلنَّاسِ, it is a cure for all the people. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, in it are many miraculous signs for a nation that reflects. وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُمْ ثُمَّ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ, Allah is the one, He created you, then He gives you life. وَمِنْكُمْ مَنْ يُرَدُّ إِلَىٰ أَرْذَلِ الْعُمَرِ, and among you are those people who do not die early, but you are reversed in creation. أَرْذَلِ الْعُمَرِ, you are reversed in creation. لِكَيْ لَا نَعْلَمَ بَعْدَ عِلْمٍ شَيْئًا, so you don't know after knowing everything. So when people become old, what happens? They become like kids. They don't know anything after they have studied so many things. Inna Allah alimun qadir, verily Allah is all-knowing and all-powerful. Ayah number 71, Surah Nahl. Wallahu faddala ba'dakum ala ba'din fi rizq. Allah is the one, important ayah, Allah is the one who favored some of you over others in rizq, in livelihood. That some of you have more wealth than others, some of you have more food and more things than others. Allah is the one who gave you. فَمَا الَّذِينَ فُضِّلُوا, as for the one who has been given, رَادُّ رِزْقِهِمْ, he should return it to رِزْقِهِمْ عَلَى مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ, to those whom your right hand possesses, to those who are under your control. That, look at the word that's used here, رَادُّ, they should return it. So when we give sadaqah, or when we give charity or help others, we think that we're doing a favor. Allah say, no, you're returning it to them. It's their thing, Allah gave it to you. Allah has done that to test والله فضل بعضكم على بعض فما الذين فضلوا براد رزقهم على ما ملكت أيمانهم فهم فيه سواء. So they become equal. They become equal in the society. أفبنعمة الله يجحدون. Do you deny the favor of Allah Ta'ala? ما لا يملك لهم رزقا من السماوات والأرض شيئا. That which does not have power over anything. It does not provide anybody in the heavens and the earth. وَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ. And they're not even able to do it. فَلَا تَضْرِبُوا لِلَّهِ الْأَمْثَالِ. Make no comparisons therefore with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Indeed Allah knows and you do not know. Do not compare Allah to your idols. ضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا عَبْدًا مَمْلُوكًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives an example of an abd, of a slave, مَمْلُوكًا, who is owned by someone else. لَا يَقْدِرُونَ عَلَى شَيْءٍ. Who has no power over anything. This master has no power over anything. وَمَا رَزَقْنَاهُ مِنَّا رِزْقًا حَسَنًا. On one side you have a servant whose master is weak. And on the other side you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah says وَمَا رَزَقْنَاهُ مِنَّا رِزْقًا حَسَنًا. And on the flip side we have someone who has given a lot of things. We have given a lot of things. فَهُوَ يُنْفِقُ مِنْهُ سِرًّا وَجَهْرًا. And he spends from what Allah has given secretly and openly. هَلْ يَسْتَوُونَ. Can they both be equal? And the answer is obviously no. And so when the answer is no, then Allah says, Alhamdulillah. Then all praise should belong to Allah. Why do you worship false gods? Why do you worship those things that don't deserve worship? But أَكْثَرُهُمْ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. But most people do not know. What do we see here? That most people, from Adam a.s. till the Day of Judgment, most people will not have Iman. Most people will not accept Allah's message. And that is going to be the case. And only a few believers will accept. That's the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا رَجُلَيْنِ. And Allah subhanahu gives another example of two men. أَحَدُهُمَا أَبْكَمْ. One of them is blind. أَبْكَمْ is dumb, meaning he's mute. He can't speak. لَا يَقْدِرُونَ عَلَى شَيْءٍ. He has no power over anything. وَهُوَ كَلٌّ عَلَى مَوْلَاهُ. And he is a burden on his master. أَيْنَمَا يُوَجِّهُ لَا يَأْتِ بِخَيْرٍ. This servant, no matter where you send him, he does not bring any good. He is that person. أَيْنَمَا يُوَجِّهُ لَا يَأْتِ بِخَيْرٍ. هَلْ يَسْتَوِي. Can he be equal to the one هُوَ وَمَنْ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ, to the one who calls to justice, وَهُوَ عَلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ, and he is on a straight path? Can both of them be equal? The one who calls towards justice and does good things, and the one who is blind, that he has revelation, he is blind and he does no khair for his master, he does nothing to his master. Can they be equal? Then وَهُوَ عَلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. وَلِلَّهِ غَيْبُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. To Allah belongs the unseen of the heavens and the earth. وَمَا أَمْرُ السَّاعَةِ إِلَّا كَلَمْحِ الْبَصَرِ أَوْ هُوَ أَقْرَبُ. But the hour is not going to be except that it's going to come faster than the twinkling of an eye, the blink of an eye. وَهُوَ أَقْرَبُ أَوْ هُوَ أَقْرَبُ. Or even faster. The people think, I got time, and when I get older I'm going to stop worshipping. Allah is saying when the day of judgment comes, it's going to come faster than the blink of an eye. إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Verily Allah is in full control over all things. وَاللَّهُ أَخْرَجَكُم مِّن بُطُونِ أُمَّهَاتِكُم. Allah is the one who took you out of the wombs of your mothers. لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا. You don't know anything. Allah is saying you still don't know anything. It's present tense, right? You don't know anything, you still don't know. لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا. Of all the things we know about embryology and what happens inside, Allah says you don't know anything and you will never know what happens inside. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ. And He made for you ears, وَالْأَبْصَارَ, and eyesight, وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ, and He made heart for you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, so that you may be thankful. Again, how do you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Use your eyes, your ears, your heart in the service of Allah, in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا. Don't they see إِلَى الطَّيْرِ, to the birds, مُسَخَّرَاتٍ فِي جَوِّ السَّمَاءِ, that are subservient and placed between the two skies, in the midst of the sky. مَا يُمْسِكُهُنَّ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. No one holds these birds except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Verily, there are many, many signs for a nation, for people that believe, that have Iman. That if you don't have Iman, then that will never benefit you. That people, they looked at the bird and made flights. Right? Human made flights looking at the bird, yet they failed to recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through it. Right? Because they lacked Iman. They could not connect it. لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah says only the believers will be able to get the sign from it. وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّن بُيُوتِكُمْ سَكَنًا. Allah is the one So the format here is Allahu Ja'ala, not Ja'ala Allahu. To show that Allah is the one, not the other, not the false God. He is the one who made min buyutikum sakanan. He made your house as a place to rest. وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّن جُلُودِ الْأَنْعَامِ. And He is the one who made for you houses from the skins of an'am, from the skins of the cattle, sheep, cow, all that. مِّن جُلُودِ الْأَنْعَامِ بُيُوتًا تَسْتَخِفُونَهَا يَوْمَ ظَانِكُمْ. And He made house for you which are light, يَوْمَ ظَانِكُمْ, made light for you so that you can take it with you when you're traveling. Like these tents, Allah is saying, Allah has made this for you so you can take it with you when you're traveling. وَيَوْمَ إِقَامَتِكُمْ, and put them when you stop somewhere. The day you stop, you iqamatikum, and you peg those tents and you live under it. Look how much Allah has highlighted, where He has, that anytime, wherever you are, you're always connecting back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَوْمَ إِقَامَتِكُمْ وَمِنْ أَصْوَافِهَا, and out of the wool of the cattle, وَأَوْبَارِهَا, and their fur, وَأَشْعَارِهَا, and their hair, أَثَاثًا, there is furnishing, وَمَتَاعًا إِلَى حِينٍ, and there is some enjoyment till a set time, that you make furnitures and something of use until the set time. وَاللَّهُ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِّمَّا خَلَقَ ظِلَالًا. Allah in fact is the one who made shades for you. وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنَ الْجِبَالِ أَكْنَانًا, and He made shelter for you in the mountains. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمْ سَرَابِيلَ تَقِيكُمُ الْحَرَّ, and He is the one who made garments for you so that you can protect yourself from heat. The clothing we have, Allah says He is the one who made. He made the plants grow that can produce that kind of cotton and all these kind of material to protect yourself from heat. وَسَرَابِيلَ تَقِيكُمْ بَأْسَكُمْ, and He made attire and garments for you to protect yourself in war and shield yourself in war. كَذَلِكَ يُتِمُّ نِعْمَتَهُ عَلَيْكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُسْلِمُونَ. That is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfills His favors on you, so that you submit to Himself, to Him, right? You surrender. All of these ni'am, the more a person gets, more humble he needs to be. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُسْلِمُونَ, so you submit yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَإِن تَوَلَّوْا, but if you turn away, فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينَ, then your job, O Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is only to communicate the clear message. يَعْرِفُونَ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ, they recognize the favor of Allah on them. ثُمَّ يُنْكِرُونَهَا, they still deny it. وَأَكْثَرُهُمْ كَافِرُونَ, and most of them are kafir, meaning they are ungrateful. Most people are not thankful for Allah's blessings. وَيَوْمَ نَبْعَثُ فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ شَهِيدٍ, and on that day we will raise from every nation a witness. ثُمَّ لَا يُؤْذَنُ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَلَا هُمْ يُسْتَعْتَبُونَ, and no time will be given, no permission will be given, no excuse will be given to the disbelievers. وَهُمْ يُسْتَعْتَبُونَ, and nor will they be allowed to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will not be given any time. وَإِذَا رَأَى الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا الْعَذَابَ, when those people who wrong, when they see the punishment, فَلَا يُخَفَّفُ عَنْهُمْ وَلَا هُمْ يُنظَرُونَ, the punishment will not be lightened on them, وَلَا هُمْ يُنظَرُونَ, and they will not be given any time. وَإِذَا رَأَى الَّذِينَ أَشْرَكُوا, when those people who associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they see شُرَكَاءَهُمْ, their partners, they will say, قَالُوا رَبَّنَا هَؤُلَاءِ شُرَكَاؤُنَا الَّذِينَ كُنَّا نَدْعُو مِن دُونِكَ. Oh Allah, these are the ones whom هؤلاء شركاؤنا الذين كنا ندعو من دونك. These are the ones who we used to call upon besides you. فألقوا السلام فألقوا إليهم القول. Then what's going to happen? Those idols and those things that they used to worship, immediately they will respond saying, إنكم لكاذبون, you are liars. We don't have any power. We never told you to follow us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment, even to the idols, He will give them the power to speak. So even they will speak and they will say, no, we never told you to worship us, you are liars. وَأَلْقَوْا إِلَى اللَّهِ يَوْمَئِذٍ السَّلَامَ, and then they will fall in submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَضَلَّ عَنْهُمْ مَا كَانُوا يَفْتَرُونَ, whatever they have made up, they will be lost. Whatever they have acquired, whatever lies they have made, it has strayed them away from the straight path. الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, as for those people who disbelieve, وَصَدُّوا عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and stop people from the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, زِدْنَاهُمْ عَذَابًا, will increase them in punishment, فَوْقَ الْعَذَابِ, over the punishment they are in, بِمَا كَانُوا يُفْسِدُونَ, because they used to cause corruption and make mischief. وَيَوْمَ نَبْعَثُ فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ شَهِيدٍ, and on that day we will raise among them a nation, في كل أمة شهيد, a witness from every nation, عليهم من أنفسهم, who will be a witness against them on the day of judgment. وَجِئْنَا بِكَ شَهِيدًا عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ, and we will bring you, Ya Rasulullah, as a witness against these people, against the Quraysh who are rejecting and persecuting you. وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ تِبْيَانًا, and we have sent down upon you the book تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. It explains every single thing that is in it. وَهُدًى وَرَحْمَةً وَبُشْرَى لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ. It is guidance and mercy and a good news for the believers. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ. Verily Allah commands you. This ayah is mentioned. This ayah is always quoted in the khutbahs, because Umar radiallahu anhu, he added this because the scholars say that this ayah is sufficient for the guidance of humanity. It includes everything in it. So it has 3 commands, 3 do's and 3 don'ts. Inna Allah ya'muru bil adl. Indeed, Allah calls you to justice. Wal ihsan, and doing good deeds above, doing to the level of ihsan, doing good deeds. Wa ita'i dhil qurba, and He calls you to ita'i dhil qurba, giving the orphans, right? Giving the close relatives, supporting the close relatives. Ita'i dhil qurba, and number 3 don'ts. Wa yanha 'anil fahsha, and He stops you, forbids you from indecent act. Wal munkar, and evil deeds. Wal baghi, and outrage and oppression, openly rejecting and doing bad things. يَعِذُكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَذَكَّرُونَ. Allah advises you so that you bear in mind. وَأَوْفُوا بِعَهْدِ اللَّهِ إِذَا عَاهَدتُّمْ, and fulfill the covenant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whenever you make the covenant. وَلَا تَنْقُصُوا الْأَيْمَانَ بَعْدَ تَوْكِيدِهَا, and never break the oaths after you have made it firm. وَقَدْ جَعَلْتُمُ اللَّهَ عَلَيْكُمْ كَفِيلًا, and while you make Allah as a witness. So when you make oaths, do not break them. In some of your oaths, you make Allah as a witness. So do not break those oaths. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَعْلَمُ مَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Verily Allah knows what you all do. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّتِي نَقَضَتْ غَزْلَهَا مِنْ بَعْدِ قُوَّةٍ أَنْكَاثًا. Do not be like the one who ripped her yarn, and after it was strong, into fibers, by taking your oaths as trickery. So this is someone who makes an oath, like a strong oath, and makes something strong, and then he cuts it, and then he breaks it. تَتَّخِذُونَ أَيْمَانَكُمْ دَخَلًا بَيْنَكُمْ, as trickery between you, and تَكُونَ أُمَّةٌ هِيَ أَرْبَى مِنْ أُمَّةٍ. That what this ayah is talking about is that when people make oaths, and like strong oath between people, nations making oaths, when they become powerful, when one nation becomes powerful, they violate the oath, and they don't even care about the consequences. So Allah is saying, do not break your oaths. Even when you see that you have more people on your side and you're becoming stronger, do not break your oaths like that. إِنَّمَا يَبْلُوكُمُ اللَّهُ بِهِ. Verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests you through that. وَلِيُبَيِّنَنَّ لَكُمْ. Allah will clarify for you يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, on the day of judgment, مَا كُنْتُمْ فِيهِ تَخْتَلِفُونَ, of what you used to disagree in. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ وَلَجَعَلَكُمْ أُمَّةً وَاحِدًا. And Allah will, He would have made you into one community. وَلَكِنْ يُضِلُّ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala misleads whomever He wants. وَيَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ, and He guides whomever He wants. وَلَتُسْأَلُنَّ عَمَّا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, and you will be asked for what you used to do. وَلَا تَتَّخِذُوا أَيْمَانَكُمْ دَخَلًا بَيْنَكُمْ. Do not take your oaths as a deception between you. فَتَزِلَّ قَدَمٌ بَعْدَ ثُبُوتِهَا. This is important. Allah is saying here that do not take your oaths and break them, because what's going to happen is that فَتَزِلَّ قَدَمٌ بَعْدَ ثُبُوتِهَا, that a person whose feet was firm, his feet will be made to slip because of your dishonesty. What that means is that when Muslim Ummah is dishonest in their oaths and do not keep up their oaths, then a person who just came into Islam, his feet was firm, and he sees Muslims behaving like this, then he reverts back to his religion. Right? وَتَذُوقُ السُّوءَ بِمَا صَدَدْتُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And you will taste the evil of what you used to do, because you prevented them from the path of Allah. بِمَا صَدَدْتُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. That when Muslims don't live up to the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is an excuse for the people to not accept Allah's message. That's why mankind will be a shaheed, shuhada'a ala nas. There will be a witness against us if we do not uphold the laws of the Quran. بما صددتم عن سبيل الله ولكم عذاب عظيم, and you will have a great punishment. ولا تشتروا بعهد الله ثمنا قليلا, and do not purchase the ayat of Allah for a small price. Do not change the ayat and the laws in it. إنما عند الله وخير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. Verily with Allah, what is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is better if only you know. ما عندكم ينفد. Whatever is with Allah is going to ما عندكم ينفد. Whatever is with you will come to an end. وما عند الله باق. And whatever is with Allah will remain forever and ever. That the wealth you have will come to an end. The family, the possessions, the dunya you have will come to an end. But the good deeds you send forward for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وما عند الله باق. That thing will remain, and that is the only thing that will benefit you. وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّ الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا أَجْرَهُمْ. And we will surely reward those people who are patient with بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ, with the best reward with the best of what they used to do. مَنْ عَمِلَ صَالِحًا مِنْ ذَكَرٍ أَوْ أُنْثَى. Whoever does a good deed, مِنْ ذَكَرٍ أَوْ أُنْثَى, male or female, وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ, but he is a believer, فَلَنُحْيِيَنَّهُ حَيَاةً طَيِّبًا. And we will give him a beautiful life. One who believes and does righteous deeds regardless of who it is, and you have firm iman, expect Allah's reward, then what's going to happen? Allah will give a beautiful life. You will have a good life. And what is good life? It is good opportunities to do good deeds. That it is contentment of the heart, and a good life is also righteous companionship. Allah will give you these things in this dunya. وَلَنَجْزِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْرَهُمْ. And will surely reward them أَجْرَهُمْ بِأَحْسَنِ مَا كَانُوا يَعْمَلُونَ. Reward them with the best of what they used to do. فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنِ. When the Qur'an is being recited, when you recite the Qur'an, فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ. Then seek Allah's refuge. فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ, to say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, من الشيطان الرجيم, from the shaitan the cursed. إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ لَهُ سُلْطَانٌ. Verily shaitan has no power over him. عَلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. The one who believes. وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. And the one who puts his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّمَا سُلْطَانُهُ. Verily his power, his authority is only going to be on who? عَلَى الَّذِينَ يَتَوَلَّوْنَهُ. The one who takes him as his friend, as his close friend. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِرَبِّهِ مُشْرِكُونَ. And those who associate partners with him. So inshallah, we'll take a short break here. So ayah number 100, Surah Al-Nahl. We'll take a short break for Asr. Be a master with purpose, لِيُثَبِّتَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, to strengthen, to make the hearts of the believers firm. That it came over time, the laws keep changing over time, because Allah wants to slowly and steadily make the hearts of the believers firm. وَهُدًى, and a guidance. وَبُشْرَى لِلْمُسْلِمِينَ, and it is a good news for the Muslims. Ayah number 103, Surah Nahl. وَلَقَدْ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُمْ يَقُولُونَ. And we already know what they used to say. إِنَّمَا يُعَلِّمُهُ بَشَرٌ. They would say that this is a human being teaches him. Right? This is a human being teaches him this Quran. لِسَانُ الَّذِي يُلْحِدُونَ إِلَيْهِ أَعْجَمِيٌّ وَهَذَا لِسَانٌ عَرَبِيٌّ مُبِينٌ. What they are accusing of and unjustly calling that he has made up is A'jami. That you can say that for an A'jami, someone whose mother tongue is not Arabic. But هَذَا لِسَانٌ عَرَبِيٌّ مُبِينٌ. But this is a clear. This Quran is in a clear Arabic language, right? Tongue of a clear Arabic person. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. Verily those people who don't believe in the ayat and the revelation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَا يَهْدِيهِمُ اللَّهِ. Allah will not guide them. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. And they will have a painful punishment. إِنَّمَا يَفْتَرِ الْكَذِبِ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ. That those people who don't believe in the signs of Allah, they make up a lie against Him. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَاذِبُونَ. And they are the liars. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ إِيمَانِهِمْ. Whoever disbelieves in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after having iman, and the only exception is إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. That a person, he disbelieves, but his heart is firm in iman, then that person is excused, right? إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. That person is excused, excluded from it. But what happens if a person disbelieves after having iman? وَلَكِنْ مَنْ شَرَحَ بِالْكُفْرِ صَدَرٍ but he opens to unbelief, disbelief, and willingly he disbelieves, فَعَلَيْهِمْ غَضَبٌ, and he will have the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ, and he will have a great punishment. So this is in the context of the Sahabas like Ammar bin Yasir. What happened is he was forced to, there's many Sahabas who were persecuted at this time, like we mentioned, like Bilal bin Rabaha and Khabbab bin al-Arad and many other Sahabas. They didn't give up, right? They continued their persecution, and they kept saying Ahadun Ahad and La ilaha illallah. They kept believing one God. But Ammar bin Yasir, what happened, the persecution was so bad that he was told to say bad things about the Prophet ﷺ and praise their gods. So he actually did it. So when he did it, so they left him, and he comes in crying to Prophet ﷺ saying, Ya Rasulullah, I have become a disbeliever, I've said this and this. So the Prophet said, when you said it, what was the state of your heart? He says, my heart is firm in Iman. Then it says, no, you're excused from it. This does not apply to you. And he says, next time they do the same thing, you can do the same thing what you have done. When they torture you, you can say something from your mouth, but from the heart you have firm Iman. So this is in their persecution, that you can say something just to get out of the punishment, but your heart should be firm. إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. Right? He hates it in his heart, and his heart is firm in Iman. That person is protected. But others who do it, and they willingly they say it, then there is a ghadab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّهُمْ اسْتَحَبُّوا الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا عَلَى الْآخِرَةِ. That is because they preferred the worldly life over the hereafter. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الْكَافِرِينَ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not guide a disbelieving nation. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ طَبَعَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ. Those are the people whom Allah has sealed their hearts, وَسَمْعِهِمْ, and their hearing, وَبِصَارِهِمْ, and their sights. Why? Because of their sins. Their sins increase, so they are unable to understand the truth. That's what happened. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seals their hearts. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. And those are the heedless ones. لَا جَرَمْ. And no doubt, أَنَّهُمْ فِي الْآخِرَةِ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. They are in clear loss. They are going to be losers in the hereafter. ثُمَّ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ لِلَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا. Then those people, indeed your master, لِلَّذِينَ هَاجَرُوا, to those people who migrate, مِن بَعْدِ مَا فُتِنُوا, after they have been tested and persecuted, ثُمَّ جَاهَدُوا, and they strive in Allah's path, وَصَبَرُوا, and they are patient, إِنَّ رَبَّكَ مِن بَعْدِهَا لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Verily your master, after it, is going to be most forgiving and most merciful. And this is motivating the believers in Mecca to persevere and be patient. Allah will reward you. ثم تأتي كل نفس يوم تأتي كل نفس تجادل عن نفسها. On that day, every single soul will come arguing for himself. وتوفى كل نفس, and every single soul will be paid in full ما عملت, for what it was doing. It will be paid in full for the good it was doing. It will be paid in full for the bad it was doing. وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ, and they will not be wronged. They will be given the full ajr, and they will be given the full punishment. وَضَرَبَ اللَّهُ مَثَلًا قَرْيَةً. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the example of a nation, of a town. كَانَتْ آمِنَةً. This town was secure and it was safe. مُطْمَئِنَّةً, and content. يَأْتِيهَا رِزْقُهَا رَغَدًا مِنْ كُلِّ مَكَانٍ. And provision was coming from all sides. They were enjoying and having a good time. This city was booming, you can say. رَزَقْنَاهُ يَأْتِيهَا رِزْقُهَا رَغَدًا مِنْ كُلِّ مَكَانٍ, from every place. فَكَفَرَتْ. This nation disbelieved and became ungrateful for Allah's blessings. بِأَنْعُمِ اللَّهِ, to Allah's blessings. فَأَذَاقَهَا اللَّهُ لِبَاسَ الْجُوعِ وَالْخَوْفِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them taste hunger and fear. بِمَا كَانُوا يَصْنَعُونَ, because of them constantly doing sins. And which nation is this? Ibn Abbas says this is Mecca. This is referring to Mecca. Mecca was a safe city. Mecca was very rich and was getting rizq from all over the place because they had the Kaaba, people coming all around the world to worship. But then what happened? They rejected the Prophet ﷺ. Kafarat. They rejected that blessing and they became disbelievers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them taste what? Ju' and khawf. What do we see in Surah Quraysh? Right? الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. He gave them, protected them from ju' and khawf. And when they became disbelievers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them ju' and khawf, hunger and fear. That's what will happen to us. that when we don't thank Allah for the blessings we have, this nation, even this city, will become ju', will suffer from poverty, and will have fear of the future. وَلَقَدْ جَاءَهُمْ رَسُولٌ مِّنْهُمْ. Verily, the messenger came to them, minhum, from among them. فَكَذَّبُوا, but they rejected it. فَأَخَذَهُمُ الْعَذَابُ, so the punishment seized them. وَهُمْ ظَالِمُونَ, while they were wronging. فَكُلُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ حَلَالًا طَيِّبًا. Eat from the halal food that we have provided you. وَاشْكُرُوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ, and thank Allah. Thank Allah for His favors. In kuntum iyyahu ta'budun, if you worship Him alone. إِنَّمَا حَرَّمَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةَ, and the only thing that He has made haram on you is mayta, is a dead animal, وَالدَّمْ, and blood, وَلَحْمَ خِنْزِيرٍ, and the blood of swine, وَمَا أُهِلَّ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ بِهِ, and the meat on which Allah's name is not taken. فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ غَيْرَ بَاغٍ, and if you are forced into it, and if you are forced into it, غَيْرَ بَاغٍ وَلَا عَادٍ, without crossing limits, and فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, verily Allah is most forgiving and most merciful. وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَا تَصِفُ أَلْسِنَتُكُمُ الْكَذِبِ, do not say from your tongues, do not lie from your tongues, هذا حلال وهذا حرام, that you say this is halal and this is haram. لِتَفْتَرُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبِ, and fabricate things against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like how the people in the past, they would say, this thing is haram for us. They would make up their own things for what's haram, like the cattle. We talked about this in An'am, and how even the Jews, what they did, the fat, shuhumahuma, right? They say this is haram for us, we cannot eat. They made up their own laws of halal and haram. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَفْتَرُونَ عَلَى اللَّهِ الْكَذِبَ لَا يُفْلِحُونَ, the people who make up lies against Allah will never succeed. مَتَاعٌ قَلِيلٌ, they will have a little bit of enjoyment in this dunya. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ, and they will have a painful punishment. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ هَادُوا حَرَّمْنَا مَا قَصَصْنَا عَلَيْكَ مِنْ قَبْلِ, and on the Jews is what they have made, what we have made unlawful, مَا قَصَصْنَا عَلَيْكَ مِنْ قَبْلِ, that we have not told them, what we have told them before this. So Allah is saying that whatever that has been made haram on the Jews has already been mentioned before, like in Surah An'am, ayah number 46. Right? Allah talks about all of this. وَمَا ظَلَمْنَاهُمْ, we did not wrong them, وَلَكِنْ كَانُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ, but they wronged themselves. So this ayah is the answer to the Quraysh, that they were saying that one of their objection was that Jews and Muslims follow the same God. How come they have different laws? How come their halal and haram food is different? And so Allah is saying, no, we did not do that. The Jews made it on themselves, that they say shuhumahuma, they'll only eat the back part of the cattle, and fat is haram, and all these different milk and meat, they made things haram on themselves. So Allah says they wronged themselves, we did not make haram. ثُمَّ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ لِلَّذِينَ عَمِلُوا السُّوءَ, then your Lord, two words, لِلَّذِينَ عَمِلُوا السُّوءَ بِجَهَالَةٍ, those people who do evil in ignorance, what happens to them? Your Lord will, what happens? So this is ثُمَّ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ لِلَّذِينَ عَمِلُوا السُّوءَ بِجَهَالَةٍ, those people who do evil in ignorance, ثُمَّ تَابُوا, then they turn in repentance to Him, مِن بَعْدِ ذَلِكَ, after that, وَأَصْلَحُوا, and do good things and reform themselves, then what's going to happen? إِنَّ رَبَّكَ مِن بَعْدِهَا لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ, verily your Master is going to be extremely forgiving and merciful. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, if you do something ignorantly, unknowingly, and then you realize that, and turn in repentance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and fix it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to be extremely forgiving and loving. So here are the steps of tawbah. How do you do tawbah? Number one is you stop that sin. You never do that sin again. And number two, you accept the mistake. You say that this is a mistake and you acknowledge that. And number three, you never repeat. You never repeat that sin. And number four, you increase in your good deeds. You increase in your good deeds. These are the steps for tawbah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafurur Rahim. Inna Ibrahim kana ummatan qanitan lillah. Inna Ibrahim, verily Ibrahim was a ummah, was a leader, was a nation on its own. What does this mean? That at that time when he called people to Islam, he was the only person lifting up the banner of Islam. Entire world was against Islam, entire world was worshipping, was doing shirk, and he was the only person lifting the banner. And usually this banner is lifted by communities, by a ummah. But this one man was sufficient to bring the entire ummah, and he was the only one holding up this banner. Inna Ibrahim kana ummatan qanitan lillah. He was constantly in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hanif, he was a true monotheist and focused in his worship. Walam yakun min al-mushrikeen, and he was never among the mushrikeen. Shakiran li an'umi, he was grateful for the favors, for Allah's favors. Ijtabahu, so Allah chose him. Wa hadahu ila siratin mustaqim, and guided him to the straight path. What we see here is that gratitude is a prerequisite for guidance. If you want guidance, you have to be grateful for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings. Then it leads to guidance. وَآتِينَاهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا, and we gave him hasana in this dunya, which is leadership and a good name. وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ, and he is going to be among the righteous. Right? He will be among the righteous in the hereafter. This surah another name of the surah was Ni'am, the surah of blessing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us to be grateful to him. And who was grateful? The epitome of gratitude was Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings him towards the end of the surah. Shakira li an'umi. وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ, he'll be among the righteous in the hereafter. ثُمَّ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ, then we revealed to you أَنِ اتَّبِعْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ, that you follow the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Hanif, a true monotheist, someone who is focused. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, and he was not among the mushrikeen. That the Prophet ﷺ at this time, he is the only person who's lifted this banner of Islam, and he's calling, and there's opposition, strong opposition against. Allah saying, look, you're following the millah of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam did much more than what you're doing, so keep going at it. إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ السَّبْتُ عَلَى الَّذِينَ اخْتَلَفُوا فِيهِ, verily the Sabbath, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about the Sabbath, is on those people who disagreed regarding it. وَإِنَّ رَبَّكَ لَيَحْكُمُ بَيْنَهُم, verily your master will judge between them on the day of judgment. فِيمَا كَانُوا فِيهِ يَخْتَلِفُونَ, in what they used to disagree upon. We talked about the day of Sabbath before. أُدْعُ إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبِّكَ, call to the path of your master. Call towards the path of your master bil hikmah. Here's something interesting. Allah is saying you should call others to the path. The path can be long. As long as they're in the path of Allah, and in the path of Allah they can be anywhere. Right? Whether they're behind, they're slow, or ahead, wherever they are, as long as they're on the path of Allah, and you slowly work towards it, get them towards the path of Allah. Call them with what? Two things mentioned here. With hikmah. Call them with hikmah. That when you call someone, when you address someone, you have to know the disease. What is the problem? What is his belief? And how do I best tackle him? Do not just bring in if a person doesn't believe in God, there's no point of talking about Risala and prophethood when he doesn't believe in God. You have to get him to accept that first. And then, with hikmah, with proofs. This is to do with your mind, hikmah. And then with the mind, after you tackle the mind, you also have to take care of the heart. وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ, and a good counsel, and an advice that hits the heart and moves the heart. وَدُعُ سَبِيلَ رَبِّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ, and argue with them and debate with them in a best manner. That if you have to debate, go ahead, but in the best manner, have a dialogue and try and win the argument. And if they are persistent, leave them. Do not force them into misguidance. إِنَّ رَبَّكَ هُوَ أَعْلَمُ, verily your master is more knowledgeable. بِمَنْ ضَلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِهِ, he is more knowledgeable of the one who is strayed from the straight path. وَهُوَ أَعْلَمُ بِالْمُهْتَدِينَ, and Allah knows who is committed to guidance. وَإِنْ عَاقَبْتُمْ, and if they retaliate, فَعَاقِبُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا عُوقِبْتُمْ بِهِ, then you retaliate them with what they are using it, with the same tools. The tools that they are using, the tools that the enemies of Islam use to corrupt the message of Islam, you use the same tools to propagate the message. Right? Whatever the tools of that technology, use that technology for Islam. عَاقَبَتُمْ فَعَاقِبُوا بِمِثْلِ مَا عُوقِبْتُمْ بِهِ وَلَئِنْ صَبَرْتُمْ, but if you are patient, وَلَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لِلصَّابِرِينَ, that is better for those who are patient. وَاصْبِرْ, and be patient. وَمَا صَبْرُكَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ, and no one can be patient without except with the permission of Allah, except with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَا تَحْزَنْ عَلَيْهِمْ, and don't grieve over them. وَلَا تَكُ فِي ضَيْقٍ مِمَّا يَمْكُرُونَ, let not their plot make you distressed. Do not be sad about whatever plots and planning they are making against you. إِنَّ اللَّهَ, verily Allah is مَعَ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا, is with those who are righteous, who guard themselves. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ مُحْسِنُونَ, and those are the ones who are muhsinun, those who do good. So see, towards the end of the surah, sabr is highlighted so many times. Sabr, wasbir, wama sabruka illa billah. Sabr is needed. And shukr, right? The beginning of the surah was full of shukr, and end Allah saying sabr. That yes, you're going through persecution. Yes, all things are difficult. You have to have patience. But look at the blessings Allah has given you. Look at that. When you just look at the blessings Allah has given you, you will forget all distress. You will forget all all the problems in your life. That just the fact that you have jackets to cover yourself and keep yourself warm is a blessing. Allah highlights that. Just the fact that we have cars to drive and move around, it's a blessing of Allah. That we are living in a safe place where we're not attacked, it's aman, it's a blessing of Allah. That we don't have hunger, it's a blessing of Allah. Right? So many things. We have honey, filth, right? Milk, water, all kinds of things. These are all blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Focus on the blessings, and the one who does not do shukr, Allah is saying that person cannot get guidance. So remember that shukr is a prerequisite for guidance. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us people who are grateful for all the blessings and don't complain for anything. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. سبحان الله بحمده عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم ما أمسى بي من نعمة فمنك وحدك لا شريك لك فلك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم ما أمسى بي من نعمة فمنك وحدك لا شريك لك فلك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم ما أمسى بي من نعمة فمنك وحدك لا شريك لك فلك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك. يا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما. اللهم يسر ولا تعسر. اللهم يسر ولا تعسر. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.